Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sunique, and today I've got an unboxing of a new version of an older deck. So I've got this version of the Shining Tribe Tarot book here, which is very text heavy and getting on a bit, as you can see. And it's a brilliant book, but all the pictures here are in black and white. This one was, let me see, it tells me 2001, a Llewellyn publication. Yeah, first edition, first print in 2001. So I thought it's high time to get the newer version, the pretty version, and see how that aligns with this one. So, good old Amazon. When this deck first came out, I think it was this year, I didn't buy it. Oh, there we go. I didn't buy it because it was like £50, and I thought, well, I've got my book. I've got this old version here. I can use that. That's fine. £50 just is horrendously expensive, in my opinion, for a mass market deck, even though it is the wonderful Rachel Pollock. So when it came down to £32, I thought, yeah, I'm going to get it. And it is huge. Actually, this original book here is longer than the box, so that's interesting in itself. This book has got 332 pages. What's this one? 272. So it hasn't got as many pages as this original book. So it's interesting. And we have a different text on the back. This is, who is this? Wiser Books. And this is Llewellyn. So we've got a lot more information on the back of the original book. You can pause and read it if you want to. It says here it was previously published in 2001. This rectified Wiser Books Deluxe edition includes colour corrections to the card art, as directed by Rachel, and 5 new cards not available in the previous edition. The accompanying full-colour book has been revised and expanded. Oh, so that's interesting. I wonder what the revisions are. Okay, so it's not a magnetic box, it's just a fold-over box. It says, "Welcome to the tribe. One whose roots go back many thousands of years before the tarot even existed. We are a tribe of diviners, magicians, shamans, psychics and visionaries who use cards or sticks or trees or stones or shells to communicate with the gods. Herein you will encounter prehistoric images from the very origins of art. Our Shining Tribe takes us back to these ancestors." And we have a yellow ribbon to pull out the book. And it's a very different book to the one I have. And here are the cards. That's nice in the bottom of the box. Okay, so this is primitive art. If you haven't seen this deck before, it's very primitive art. Now, I don't have the original deck, so I can't compare them side by side. So there is that. There's no gilding on these cards. These are the back, so they're reversible. There's no copyright. That's good. Massive white borders. So you could trim this deck. Yeah, you could trim this deck if that's what you enjoy doing. Okay, so difference to the fronts of the books. This one is colour coded. And starts on page 25 with the Fool. This one starts on page 13 with the Fool. Okay. And of course there's no image in this one, whereas there is in that one. And the font is a lot smaller on this one, so it's easier to read on the original, which is probably why it's larger. Because the font is different. These are really nice paper we've got here as well. It's not glossy, it's nice and smooth. Smooth to the touch. I think we've probably got the same sort of information as the Magician. In fact, let's look at the contents page. And we have, so preface, introduction. Here we've got an editor's note. The structures, that's the same, major, minor, yep, all the same. Vision cards, readings. Appendix 1. Appendix 1, start your own shining tribe. Appendix 2 is name changes, and then here Appendix 1 is name changes and reversals and glossary. So they've put Appendix 1 as Appendix 3, start your own shining tribe. So they've put it in a different place. In this one we've got ways to activate a tarot card, and that's the only difference, I think. Oh, there's extra cards here, is on page 12. So we have extra cards in this deck. This version of the deck has 5 extra cards painted some years after the deck's commercial publication. While these essentially bonus prints, they can also be linked to 5 elements denoting the major arcana and the 4 suits. They are listed on the following pages in order of appearance. So these are the extra cards. We've just got a little bit of text about these cards underneath, not as much as we have in the rest. Okay, so we've got an introduction here to the major arcana, which appears to me to actually be the same text. Yeah, I think it's the same text. Yeah, it appears to be the same text. Okay. I think this one has just got those extra cards in there that we didn't get in the original Shining Tribe. And of course we get these beautiful, beautiful images, and they're not full page images, and they're not taking up too much of the book. But they're enough for us to actually see and work with if we haven't got the deck with us. Which I think is a nice idea, actually. Then you haven't got to risk your cards getting damaged when you're not at home, when you're out and about with them. Yeah, it's a beautiful guidebook. What do we have here? Oh yeah, the Start Your Own Shining Tribe. And we have this in the other book as well. We have this glossary of names, animals, and what they mean, which is brilliant. Okay, so while we're here, we'll look at the cards together, and then we'll pull one and read from the guidebook. Okay, so let's start with the Fool. So we've got the Fool leaping off here, leaping off the cliff. I can fly like a bird, following the bird. And there's the pathway that they're going to follow. A Magician, we've still got the Magician stance there. High Priestess. Empress. Emperor. This is stag energy. Tradition for the Hierophant. The Lovers. Chariot. And Strength. I love this. I like the fact that this is such simplistic art. Now then, when this first came out, I wasn't drawn to it. I was drawn to the guidebook, but I was not drawn to the artwork. But since then, I've grown, I've matured, I've educated myself, and I've come to appreciate different art forms. And now I'm very, very comfortable with this sort of style. Whereas like before I would never have been. Justice. It's So it's showing the growth in my journey as well. Hanged Woman. And Death. Like the butterfly. Temperance. The Devil. And I like this card because it shows how devil energy constricts us. The Tower. The Star. The Moon. And the Sun. Awakening for Judgment. And the World, Shining Woman for the World. Okay. So we start our suits with the Ace of Trees, so one's energy. Look at all that growth there from this potential here, this baby's potential to actually what that baby is going to grow up and become. Ideal, isn't it? The sun over the mountains. The Two. There's a whole world out there. It says, "Blessed is the mother who has given us shape." And we've got the Fool's garment there. It seems to be a fool's garment. Very similar. The Three of Trees. The Four. 5. 6. 7. This is our spinal cord and all the nerves that branch out from it. And then we've got the left and right hemispheres of the brain here. And I think that's a labyrinth there. Clever, huh? 8. You can really see the swiftness there. 9. And the 10. This is like the solar system here. Okay, so we start in our court cards with the place. So the place of trees. Noah. Gift of trees. And speaker of trees. Hand and a foot. On to water. Ace of rivers. Two. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. So these with the overhead perspective. The 8. 9. And 10. Very wide awake, Smith. Okay, we have a place. The Noah. The gift. And the speaker. Then we have birds for air or swords. It would be in Rider-Waite Smith. 2. The way the snakes wrap around the legs. Bring them together. The 3. 4. 5. The 6. 7. 8. The 9. And the 10. Place. The knower. Gift. And the speaker. And then our earth suit stones. So the ace. The 2. 3 of the expansion there. The 4, which is the image of the original book, front of the original book. 5. 6. 7. 8. The 9. The 10. And the court cards. The place. The knower. The gift. And the speaker. And then we've got these extra cards. So portrait of Albert. Straight through, I'm not quite sure what that says. Nobility, I think. Straight through nobility. Knowledge and life. The Sphinx in Eden. Saint Teresa. And Tiamat. Brilliant. Okay. So let's take, I'm going to take one of the extra cards. Let's do the Sphinx in Eden and see what that says, because that isn't in the original book. It's water, suit of rivers. So each of these extra cards are elements. Okay, and this is the water element. Ruled, in a sense, by the High Priestess, the element of water symbolise the mysteries of existence, a state in which we sense great truths but cannot put them into words. The Sphinx traditionally is said to pose riddles and exact a terrible prize from those who cannot answer. So we've got a bit of Greek mythology there. But if we could return to the pure state of Eden, the Sphinx would be seen to sit silently in peace. Thus, the picture symbolises our ability to accept the unanswerable riddles of life. So, yeah, it's very High Priestess, isn't it? Very High Priestess. Yeah, so those extra cards are the elements, aligned to the elements. Let's now look at a minor card and a court card. Okay. Let's do the 5 of rivers, which would be our water suit. Oh, I seem to be having a water moment. Okay, they go down, they go in. They weep for the elders, sing guidance for swimmers. So this simple image comes from Native American Mimbres earthenware, dated to around 1000 CE, Common Era. In the original, a lozenge appears in the crane's belly. Here we see a dark sun. matched by the sun shining in the sky. Various peoples have imagined a fish who carries the sun at night to its place of rebirth in the east. Oh, I see. The extended neck of the crane recalls the spiral of fortune and signals that this card teaches us about change, literally flowing with the ups and downs of the events in our lives. So yeah, Wheel of Fortune. In many tarot decks, the Five of Cups shows an image of loss and the need for acceptance. The famous Rider deck version of the card depicts a sorrowful figure standing rigidly in a dark cloak, while they look down at 3 spilled cups. Behind the figure unnoticed stands 2 upright cups. In Shining Tribe Tarot, the rigidity has given way to acceptance. The river flows up and down but remains one river, just as our lives are a river with many turns. As creatures of water, the fish adapt to the bends. The card helps us accept where we are at this time in our lives, reminding us at painful moments that no situation remains forever. In this famous words of an Anglo-Saxon bard who had lost his place at court, this too shall pass. The spiral of fortune spirals up to a brighter consciousness and an implication of action to come. Here the head spirals down and inward, like the snake of the High Priestess. This gives the card a quality of introspection and discovery of self. So they've linked that to 2 major cards here, the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune. So that's a great way of linking cards, isn't it? So, and then we have the divinatory meanings. So, accepting loss, adapting to new situations, grief, but also greater understanding and self-knowledge. And then in the reverse, rigidity. Yeah, that's absolutely the opposite of water, isn't it? Difficulty accepting loss. Alternatively, it can mean a new beginning after a time of sorrow. As with other contradictory reverse meanings, the surrounding cards and the intuitions of the questioner should make clear which way the card leads. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I'm not going to keep going with rivers. Let's have a look at the Speaker of Birds. So our air element. We've got here, I'll just show you. For our major cards, it's like this pink colour. Then we go to the tree suit, which is like this salmon colour. We have blue for rivers, like a yellow colour for birds, green colour for stones, and then when we will come to the court cards, that's when this purple colour is aligned. Speaker of Birds. Right, we've got a lot here, so I can't read all that, I'll be here forever. And you come dancing in your ancient rags, your feathered coats, your handcuff earrings and your animal skin, your tender flamboyance, your beauty like thunder that breaks in my dreams. The original book uses the same format as well, with the court cards being towards the back and not coming after 1 to 10. So if we look for our Speaker of Birds, it is the same text. What does it mean to speak with the authority of the birds? Yeah, it's the same text. And the divinatory meanings: communicating from our deepest truths, sharing ideas and information, a sense of the inner authority, exactly the same. Complementing art or science, using artistic or other gifts responsible. Yeah, exactly the same text. It's just larger. It's a larger font, a clearer font. So yeah. Whereas this one is pretty. It's really pretty. We have seen how birds inspire art and liberation, even madness, but also the knowledge of the gods. The spirits who dwell in the great above, where only the birds can travel. Just as mountain retreats, words and music are the way of the birds, so is prophecy, the inner knowing that allows us to speak truth. Prophecy is the most direct form of divination, where we do not rely on systems of symbols or even psychic flashes and insights, but instead receive the direct word of truth. And then it goes on to talk about the Bible, how we apply these principles to work with the tarot. Oh, this is interesting. We can apply this principle to work with the tarot. We commonly judge a tarot reader by how accurate their predictions turn out to be. People will say, I went to a tarot reader. She was great. Everything she said turned out to be right. Does this really matter? Shouldn't we consider more whether or not the reading helps us find and follow our own spiritual path? And then where the idea for the picture came from. So, yeah, it's a really good, comprehensive guidebook. Both of them are. Let's just quickly look at a major card. I love this strength card. I've got to look at that strength card. I think it's... I really do. Okay, so let's have a look at the strength card. Interestingly, in the guidebook, it doesn't give the numbers for the cards. So if you're not familiar with the card numbers, then that could be something that is to take into consideration. She roars in the morning, she touches the fire, she licks the dark hill, she gives food to her children. Okay, so it starts with telling us about the Rider-Waite-Smith version and what that means. And then here, okay, so for this card, the lion stands before a tree of life on the peak of a rounded hill. Like an egg. Together the tree and the hill suggest the glyph for shining vision. A landscape image made more explicit in the following card. At first it appears that the roots in the hill emerge from the tree. At closer inspection we see them stretching out from the lion's paws. Strength comes when we root ourselves in our mother, the earth. The lion derives from ancient Persia. The image of a woman, a goddess, and a lion, or other great cat, is found throughout the Middle East, Southern Europe, and North Africa with remarkable persistence. The oldest known example, a woman sitting on a throne serenely giving birth while flanked by two leopards, dates from 8,000 years ago in Western Turkey. Babylonian Ishtar was said to have a lion lover, while the most famous picture of the demon Lilith, who's in the Nine of Trees, shows her standing on two lions. Several thousand years later, we find the image of a woman and a lion in European alchemy. So, I mean, once again, Rachel is linking the cards together for us. So here is Lilith. That's amazing that, yeah, to do that, to actually link the cards together, that is so useful. Okay, so I'm not really going to go any further because this is a deep dive deck study, really, when you think about it, because yes, we have cards that align with the tarot that we know and love, but the images are so different. The way that the cards are linking together, it is really worthy of its own deck study. So if it's something you've got time to do or you're interested in doing, then this is a wonderful deck to do it. I mean, just if you don't even want to buy the whole set, because it is expensive, at full price, around £50, then you could possibly get this original book second hand, I would imagine, quite cheaply, and then know if you want to actually buy the cards as well. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. That's my little comparison between the two versions of the Shining Tribe Tarot by the wonderful Rachel Pollock, who we all sadly miss. Bye friends, bye now.